I really want to know what Dr. Games 101 is going to have to say about this one. Capcom president says game prices are too low. The Resident Evil publisher's boss suggests people will still buy pricier games even during a recession. In comments this past weekend, Capcom president Haruhiro Tsuchimoto asserted that video game prices are too low, pointing to the massive increase in developmental cost and how game prices haven't risen at the same rate. He suggested that increasing the prices of games would be a healthy option for an industry. It was only a year ago that the era of $70 video games really begun, as numerous AAA releases like Gotham Knights and God of War Ragnarok began selling for $10 more than what players had come to expect. Now, in 2023, around half of AAA games from large publishers have adopted the new $70 price point. Yet, Capcom is one of the few publishers that's abstained from rising prices thus far. It has continued to sell new games like Street Fighter VI at $60 instead of $70, but that might be changing. According to a September 23rd report from Nikkei, Sugimoto spoke at the Tokyo Game Show about various topics. While speaking at the event, the president of Capcom reportedly explained that he felt the price of video games was too low. Development costs are about 100 times higher than during the Famicom era, but software prices have not gone up that much, said Sugimoto, referring to Nintendo's massively successful 8-bit console from the 80s. There's also a need to raise wages. Considering the fact that wages are rising in the industry as a whole, I think raising unit prices is a healthy option for business. Sugimoto further explained that even a recession or society's low general confidence in the business world shouldn't matter when it comes to game prices, saying that these factors have little to do with the game industry and that people still bought games even during the Lehman Brothers stock collapse in 2008. Just because there's a recession doesn't mean you won't go to the movie theater or go to your favorite artist's concert. High quality games will continue to sell, said Sugimoto. Video game prices will likely go up even if gamers don't like it. There's no doubt that in 2023 it cost a lot more to make a game than it did in 1983. Games are bigger and more complex than ever before, requiring more people, time, and resources to create. Even many smaller games are still vastly bigger and more complex than any game released in the 80s and 90s. But games today are also jam-packed with always online requirements, cosmetic stores, and paid battle passes. Sometimes the argument made is that these things are needed for publishers to make money, and if prices on games were raised, these microtransactions and other annoyances would go away. However, looking at how many $70 games still contain all that stuff in 2023, I'm not so sure about that. Regardless, the industry can't sustain this pace forever. As games get bigger and bigger, failures become riskier, and trying something new becomes more unlikely. Something has to change, and given the choice, publishers will probably increase the price you pay for big games like the next Halo or Grand Theft Auto in the coming years, perhaps even past $70. So, Dr. Games 101, what do you think of this?
The Capcom president, I think he's delusional, saying that he price it too low. I understand
Don't sugarcoat it. Tell us how you really feel.
He's very detached from what's going on in everyday life as Americans here in the United States. Because Capcom's located somewhere in Japan, right? Or at least the main headquarters in Japan.
Haruhiro Sugimoto. I think he's works in Japan.
Yeah, Japan is different from the United States because of the economy. Yes, they got much better over the years since the 1997 crisis in Asia, what was happening during the stock market and all. But since then, they got better trains, better services, better products. So I don't know what to say about them. Like they're not delusional. The Japanese, obviously, I respect their culture. I respect their economy, the people themselves. I was want to visit Japan, but that was a little too much from that president of Capcom. So he's either delusional or he's just saying it for the fact that he wants to outbeat the United States in that competition. So I can understand that wholeheartedly. Personally, myself, I cannot just buy an easy $75 video game every single month for God knows how many months at a time per console cycle. I used to do that. Not used to do that. I used to choose between get two games every year. That's usually like Call of Duty, Halo. Usually, well, Call of Duty, I got a 5-star place since 2016. So before there was Halo, it was Body Count, it was Crash Bandicoot. It was some other games out there that were available on the 360 and PS2, etc., etc. Because PS2 was still making video games up until 2013, 2014, give or take. Um, but yeah, guys, like you already know the feeling as a gamer. It's very time consuming. It costs money, and yes, we can allocate our resources for other types of entertainment out there. Perhaps get a girlfriend and take her out to eat and stuff like that, such and such. But that's cost money too. So it's kind of like who they're kidding. Everybody's money consuming these days. As a regular everyday American like you and I, Triple J and I, it's they're delusional. These guys in these higher positions in companies. They got all the money in the world. Not all the money in the world, but they got enough money to where I say, hey, they could go take a yacht, rent a yacht, or get a couple of girls, have a good time, or they can, take their family out for a vacation in the mountains, somewhere in Okinawa, Japan, or something like that, where all there's like shrines and galore and stuff like that. Things that matter. So they are okay at the top of these type of positions. So I have to say that the guy is just delusional still. Yeah, I hope he'll reconsider what he's saying in the next few weeks, months. Other than that, it is what it is for the time being with these executives in power.
Yeah, I mean, I see where he's coming. I see where he's coming from because when the Nintendo came out, which was the United States equivalent of the Famicom in Japan, games
Yeah,
were mainly $40 here. The games really didn't climb up to 60. I'd say till at least maybe the Super. No, not even the Super Nintendo era. More like the Nintendo 64 era
yeah.
is when like $60 started to become the norm for at least brand new games. But um, at the same time, the Capcom president has to realize just because he's sitting pretty and still has money doesn't mean everyone else has money. Yeah, I was still buying games in 2008, but that's because I had a job. You know, if people lost their job because of the recession, they're not going to spend money on entertainment. They're going to spend that money, what money they have on food and keeping their lights on and
Heat,
yeah, food keeping and keeping the lights on and keeping the water running.
heat included. That's just what it's on.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to think of the bills I have to pay monthly, but
Oh, right, right.
anyway, yeah. So I mean, just I mean, and if you really want to go into it, look at how many movie theaters are shutting down in America. I saw a movie theater after movie theater just shutting down in New York before I left. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not like so.
Limbrook. If you're referring to one in Limbrook, New York, they actually got to build a new theater after that. They tore it down for a brand new theater upgrade. Very
Oh,
bit different now. See,
okay,
it looks.
but I think the movie theaters in Valley Stream shut down.
Oh yeah, they could change it to like a multi parking lot of like other stores like the Buffalo Wings and Sonic and 24 Hour Fitness, etc., etc. So I've been there before earlier this month, last month. So
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, but they used to have a multiplex, Valley Stream multiplex cinemas, and
hmm
that was gone when I left. The
hmm
Lindbrook Theater still was being rebuilt, I guess, so that wasn't an option. Our closest movie choices were like I think Franklin Square or Rockville Center, if we
yeah,
wanted to see a movie in movie theaters. Um, so it's not like it. And honestly, not many people are going to see movies. I mean, how many movies unless it's how many movies are really making such a killing when they release in theaters. You more often hear about bomb after bomb instead of uh, instead of movies. Even movies going to streaming services don't recoup what they make.
yep. The only movie we consider in the Marvel Cinematic Universe specifically is the Spider-Man 3 movie with the Holland guy, the new Spider-Man character actor. So they made a good difference in the box office within a couple of weekends, the first couple of weekends in theaters. Other than
Yeah,
that, we still got Blade coming out. We still got other movies coming out like that. So it's hopefully Blade will make a big difference because people are anticipating to see Blade how good it is or how bad it will be when it comes out next year.
Yeah, but also, to get back, movie theaters aren't that much. I don't know about concerts, how good they're doing, but um, to get back to also trying to understand where this guy's coming from. Yeah, Grand Theft. I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto 5. I'll keep bringing it up. That took anywhere from 165 million to like 250 million to make.
Oh yeah.
So,
And 10 years, also, if I can say with GTA 5, over the last 10 years with GTA Online, they made about $1 billion like, within a certain amount of time after that of recent GTA Online.
it made it not even it didn't even take that long. They made $1 billion in sales in just I think 3 days.
No way, 3 days? Wow.
Yeah, when Grand Theft Auto 5 first came out in 2013.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
release and of course the game itself, but the online version was that's where the money making is at after the release over
right.
the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, like the article said, you got microtransactions, you got battle passes, you got in game stores that take real money, um, and it's like, if you're not capitalizing on this, what whose fault is that basically? While they annoy players, people are still, some people will still check out what they can buy as a microtransaction.
I admit that I'm gonna be one of those guys too every now and then. I'll buy like a $5 what's it called, Apex token or two or whatever once every few months,
And you probably get the battle pass every year. Um,
every
oh,
3 months, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, obviously, I don't. But the thing is, he is completely wrong if he thinks games should go above $70 exact, especially right now, because as it becomes less and less affordable, people are either a gonna go to retro gaming because they can buy, spend $100 and get a collection of games like off eBay or something, or they're just gonna spend
Right.
their money on a different hobby altogether.
Mhm. Yeah, I go to flea markets and random parts of the United States where some games be sold for like $1, others be $5 once in a while, $50, depending on how good the condition the retro games are. So you never know.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand where this. I understand that he's saying that well, cost is going up, but the prices are not. But at the same time, he's not working. He's not sitting at 250, 300, $350 a week.
Yeah, no, that's hard. To work 15, $10 an hour, $300 a week before taxes. It's that hard out there.
Yeah, so I mean, I mean, I hate the microtransactions. I hate the battle passes. I still remember Darkness the Curse when we were talking about, I think, Dead or Alive 5 or 6. I think that it was Dead or Alive 6 microtransactions. Like if you wanted to buy the different hair color, you had to buy a different color separately for every character separately at $1 a piece. And I
Yeah.
think Angry Joe added all up and it was like over $7,000 of DLC if you bought everything.
Holy shit.
If I'm not mistaken. This was like, uh, well, Darkness and us talked about it about 3 years ago now. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it. I mean, I hate those
Oh,
annoyances, and if they were completely gone from video games, maybe he would have a point. But I'd rather the annoyances be there if that's what's keeping game prices from going up as from going up as much as they would have if these things were not there.
oh yeah.
And I just think Capcom, whether or not they want to, maybe it's a necessary evil. Maybe start a battle pass. Maybe start, extra outfits or as DLC purchases or in-store purchases. Period. Um,
Oh, yeah.
because it is a recession and not many people can have that much uh disposable money to spend.
Oh, yeah, definitely.